So not too many new plot details in this Invader Zim Enter the Florpus teaser, but if you go down to the IGN description of this teaser, it's actually kind of revealing. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Blood Moon Bobby here, and hopefully this will be my last take. This must be like my sixth take doing this. Just had quite a few audio issues. Hopefully I'll be able to get it right this time. But today we are checking out the latest teaser trailer for Invader Zim Enter the Florpus here on IGN's YouTube channel. I've already watched this teaser several times because of all the times I've been trying to, record and commentate over it. And while it doesn't give away too many details, some funny stuff happens. Let's say it's the description for this trailer is what's interesting, and I'll get into that after we go over the teaser itself. So without further ado, let's check it out. Yep, meanwhile in a toilet. And you see, well, Zim laughing on a toilet. And yeah, that's basically the whole teaser, just Zim laughing on top of this toilet, and Gur's joining in, and Minnie Moose is just sort of hanging around, and that sort of a thing. So yeah, that's the teaser. Aw, why not, computer? So, Enter the Florpus, which I'm still trying to figure out what the Florpus is. And it comes out on August 16th. So, yeah. And just to make you guys feel better if you were disappointed that Zim's computer didn't want to laugh, let's actually ask both Siri and my Amazon Echo Dot to do it. Laugh with me.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Siri doesn't want to do it. Okay, let's try my Echo Dot. Alexa, laugh with me.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Man. Well, okay, so they don't want to laugh, whatever. So anyway, Into the Florpus, the new teaser, basically, it serves its purpose, gets you excited for the new movie, gets you, hyped up, you just see, Zim, him, and Gur laughing, Minnie Moose and the computer don't want to for some reason. I understand, yes, it serves its purpose, to hype up people for the new movie, and especially since the movie is coming out on August 16th, relatively soon, basically just after Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling. I understand that they don't want to spoil too many things at this point. Although the description for the teaser, not that it's super spoilery, but it reveals some pretty big things that I'll get into now. And so this description says, quote, Zim discovers his almighty leaders never had any intention of coming to Earth, and he loses confidence in himself for the first time in his life, which is the big break his human nemesis, Dib, has been waiting for. Netflix and Nickelodeon's Invader Zim Enter the Florpus from creator Jonan Vasquez will release globally on August 16th, 2019. So, I'll explain a bit about, my personal history with Invader Zim. I actually didn't watch Invader Zim back when it first came out. Not that my parents would want me to. But, yeah, I didn't actually watch it when it first came out. The way I discovered Zim was actually through a book called Not Just Cartoons, they're Nicktoons, and it's a book about basically the Nickelodeon shows made between 1991 to the mid 2000s. It started with the book starts with the Ren and Stimpy show and ends off with the Mighty Bee, if you still remember that show. And I remember, looking through that book, and, of course, it's all the shows that I was familiar with, like Rugrats, Wild Thornberrys, and Avatar. But then I came across this show called Invader Zim, and I was like, ooh, what is this show? It looks really dark, and you got, this alien here with his robot, and, this human kid, and this idea that in Zim, it's hard to say, who is the good or bad guy, because in Zim, you have the stars, Zim, who is an alien, who is an egotistical and very power-hungry character, but, he's a very, enjoyable comedic character, but he wants to take over the Earth. Whereas Dib is his nemesis, who wants to save the Earth, but of course, he wants to, take Zim down. So it's just like, who exactly is the good or bad guy, which, which from there we'll go into Enter the Florpus. And the idea is, if you've seen the very first episode of Zim, The Nightmare Begins, you'll know that from the beginning, the Zim's leaders, called the Almighty Tallest, basically never really took Zim seriously. In fact, prior to that episode, they actually sent him off to a fast food planet. And one of the reasons they don't take him seriously is because, so in that episode, the Tallest are about to launch their Operation Impending Doom 2, where, they basically take over an enemy planet. Well, what happened in Operation Impending Doom 1 is that Zim got in his robot and just basically started destroying stuff all over his home planet of Urk. Like, basically just for the sake of, power and, just for, being the sake of power and causing chaos. And yeah, even though, as Zim puts it, he put the fires out, the leaders don't take him seriously at all. They're basically just like, what can we send Zim to? Oh yeah, there's a weird planet called Earth, and we're gonna send not a Sur, not our super advanced Urkin robot, we're gonna send Gur. This robot who doesn't even know what the G in his name stands for. And as you can see, I actually got this poster signed by Ricky Simons himself. He's the guy who voiced Gur. I've met and interviewed him a couple times. You might have seen those interviews on my YouTube channel. He wasn't able to give too many details regarding Enter the Florpus, but, at the same time, I understand, they want to save things up for the movie itself. Yeah, so, what I'm speculating here is that, basically throughout the series, Zim is completely oblivious to the fact that his leaders don't take him seriously at all. So, what I'm suspecting is that when Zim finds out, I'm not really sure if the Tallest are gonna, outright tell, oh, Zim, after all this time, we never really had faith in you, and, we didn't really want to send you to Earth. And God knows they might even try saying, I'd try taking him home. I could see Zim being, super distraught and be like, no! And, being, depressed for a bit, which, would give, make Dib think that, oh my gosh, this is my opportunity to expose Zim and perhaps, get him captured and have people find out that he is an alien and that sort of thing. But knowing Zim, he's not, the kind of character who, is gonna mope and dope for a really long time, when he's down. In fact, what I'm kind of thinking is what'll probably make him, want to, continue taking over Earth is he's probably going to think that, wait a second, this could be my opportunity to invade a planet even better than something that the Tallest themselves could do. So that's what, launches him into doing, phase 2 of his operation to take over Earth. Because I personally can't see, Zim, being, down for, a complete movie. What, is he just going to be sitting on his couch or his toilet the whole time while Gur is, I don't know, eating pizza and waffles? It just doesn't sound that way. Now, of course, being, a Zim movie, I don't think it's going to be, a super, straightforward plot. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of gags that we've come to expect in Zim. Both from, obviously there's going to be gags from, Gur, obviously, it's expected that, Gur is going to have a lot of gags on his own, but also, we're also more than likely going to see a lot of gags from the human cast, because the human cast in Zim is arguably stranger than the Urkins or the aliens themselves. They're just, really, quirky, oblivious people. You got, Miss Bitters, who is Dib and Zim's teacher at school. That's Skool on in Invader Zim's version of Earth. And she's this really creepy teacher that is floating around, telling her students that before the Big Bang there was nothing. And of course, more than and of course, I think we can expect, the really quirky human characters. I mean, you look at them throughout Zim's history. One example I could think of is in the episode Invasion of the Idiot Dog Rain. That's the one where Gur takes over Zim's house so he can go get some crazy tacos. Gur inadvertently steps on this dude's car, and the dude, he's calling the police and telling them, "I like to report a mobile home on a rampage, that's going down the street." "Okay, thank you." And he looks all happy and chill, and then suddenly he's like, "Ah!" he starts, screaming and freaking out. And another example I could think of is, I remember there was another episode, I forgot the name of it, where this little girl gets her foot stuck, on Zim's lawn, and the people are like checking it out. This one woman is like, "Oh my god, this little girl is stuck. Call the media!" And all these people are showing up, and of course Zim is freaking out because he's worried he's gonna get exposed. And the way they introduce presumably the president of the United States in that episode is they're like, "Ladies and gentlemen from President Land, it is the president." It's just this kind of weird, like, quirky characters, and nearly all of them are like completely oblivious, if I can talk today, to the fact that Zim is an alien. And I mean, I remember there was one episode where there was a bunch of these conspiracy theorists that, caught Zim, they found out that he's an alien. But aside from that, like 95% of the time, the only human character or that, knows that Zim is an alien is Dib. And I'm not really sure about Dib's sister, Gaz, but it's mainly Dib, so, I'm expecting a lot of really quirky humor, a lot of gross out humor. Like, Zim has become rather infamous for its gross out humor. Not that, I'm not trying to be, like a really, like, bossy parental figure or anything like that. Like, I personally got into a lot of the gross out humor myself. I'm just saying that for some kids it might be a bit much. Like, if you look at past Invader Zim episodes, like The Rise of Zip Boy, where Zim had this really giant, like, pimple that he called pustulio, and it looked like a water balloon, and you can even see, like, the pus, like, it was sort of jiggling around the pimple, like, it was like water inside of a water balloon. And at the very end of the episode, the pimple, like, explodes and floods Zim's school. And then one of the most infamous episodes of Zim, I hope I'm not saying in the word infamous like 100 times in this video, was Dark Harvest, where Zim goes around the school getting human organs, like way more than he needs, so just so that, basically Dib doesn't expose him for being an alien. And I remember in that episode, he took things like, he took this one kid's liver, he took this, I think it was either a secretary or nurse, this character's brain, he took somebody's spleen, and at the very end of the episode they implied that Zim took out Dib's vocal cords and replaced it with the voice of a cow. So yeah, definitely one of the more infamous episodes. Maybe because, like, I think I was like 12 or 13 when I first saw Dark Harvest. It didn't get to me like all that much, and this makes me sound so sick, but I remember when I saw that scene where that secretary or nurse gets her brain taken out and it's replaced by a can, she picks up, like somebody telephones her, and she just gets like foam starting to come out from her mouth like she has rabies. I remember the first time I saw that, I actually cracked up laughing. But yeah, Zim has definitely become infamous for a lot of its admittedly gruesome humor, but I was still able to get into it myself. Maybe not like Cronenberg levels of gruesome, but yeah, especially for a kid show, admittedly, yeah, it could get pretty gross at time. I know my friend Steven thinks that Dark Harvest was a particularly like gross episode. To what extent we'll see those jokes in Enter the Florpus, it's kind of hard to say. I kind of think that's maybe part of why Nickelodeon decided to move Enter the Florpus to Nickelodeon. Maybe they're going to put some gross out jokes. I know in the Comic-Con 2018 trailer for Enter the Florpus, you saw, Dib for the first time, and it looks like he hasn't been out of his room since, well, the original Invader Zim series ended, and he's got like this really crusty crap like in his eyes, and he just looks really terrible. So I don't really know to what extent we'll see it, but I think we'll see it to some degree. I mean, just the fact that we see Dib looking absolutely like terrible, but the way he did in that Comic-Con 2018 trailer, that in itself is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm still trying to wonder, why is this movie called Enter the Florpus? I still really don't know. All we know about the premise so far is basically, Zim is, told by the tallest that, they didn't intend to send him to Earth, but Zim has, some kind of plan, according to the Comic-Con 2018 trailer, to, take over the Earth anyway. So, it's really hard to say. I guess at this point we'll find out when the movie Invader Zim Enter the Florpus comes out. And I don't want to, and I don't really want to like talk about like how I'm disappointed that Enter the Florpus isn't coming to Nickelodeon. You know, I've talked about it in much more detail in my Rocco's Modern Life Static Clean video. I said that one of the reasons why is probably because, and Velasky Bum, you know, the YouTuber Velasky Bum said that it was probably because the Haunted Jungle movie, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was a really touching movie, may not have done the numbers that Nickelodeon was hoping for. And that, and also with the kind of gross out humor that Zim is, and how Nickelodeon really wants to come off as a really family friendly, arguably even more than Cartoon Network and even like Disney Channel and Disney XD. That's probably why they moved it to Netflix. You know, I'm not saying that's the official reason, I'm just speculating. But on the bright side, you know, the fact that, you know, it is coming to Netflix first, I'm not sure if either Enter the Florpus or Static Cling will come to the Nickelodeon TV channel at some point in the future. That fact alone does, you know, get me optimistic, and that, you know, I could watch the movie as soon as it comes out, and I don't have to wait in, like, my spoiler bunker, you know, for it to come to iTunes 24 hours after the movie comes out. So I'm definitely looking forward to Enter the Florpus. Basically been looking forward to it ever since I started watching Invader Zim. Let me know down below in the comments if you're excited to see Enter the Zim, Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus. What do you think the title Enter the Florpus means? Leave all those thoughts down below. Until next time, and hopefully this take is good, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to get notified when I release my latest videos. Follow me at Blood Moon Bobby on your favorite social media platforms to take part in polls, see my tech tips, and to hear about my video plans. Thanks for watching.